Well, most days when I start to do the research about what I'm going to talk about that particular night, I can't find anything that could be considered good news where it concerns this filthy toilet rat Donald Trump's attempts to turn the country totally fascist. But there were a couple of things overnight, early this morning. First of all, yesterday, a panel of federal judges on something called the U.S. Court of International Trade. Who knew? I had no idea something like that existed. Did you? I doubt it. So much of the inner workings of government are being laid bare because this toilet rat son of a bitch is trying to disrupt everything and turn us into a fascist country. And as part of that effort and the resistance to the effort, we are finding out about all kinds of different inner workings of the government. Yes? Anyway, this panel of federal judges yesterday told Trump that no, that's not going to happen, where it concerns his steepest tariffs on, well, China and other U.S. trading partners. They declared it in the wastebasket. This panel of federal judges found that federal law did not grant him what they called unbounded authority to tax imports from nearly every country around the world. I mean, Trump may think he is the dictator of everything, but he's a fucking grifting, lying television bum. It just so happens that in assuming the presidency for the second time, he and his evil cabal of assholes have figured out how to grease up the U.S. Constitution and then slide around like, I don't know, like somebody sliding in mud. This is what he's turned it into. And he honestly believes, as evidenced by his actions, that he has ultimate power and can do what he wants. Newsflash, asshole, you don't. And the resistance now is really starting to build. First of all, Alan Garber, the president of Harvard, who gave the commencement speech this morning. By the way, if you saw that on television, how when Garber came down the steps to approach the podium to give his commencement speech, the entire student body, Jew, Palestinian, I don't care what they were, black, white, Asian, and the faculty, on the podium, on the stand with him. He got a standing ovation because of his determination to tell Trump to go fuck himself. And a lot of respect for Alan Garber. Anyway, this ruling by the U.S. Court of International Trade, it is evidence of yet another significant kick in the teeth to Donald Trump. And the ruling undercuts his primary leverage that he thought he had as dictator of America. Not yet, you dumb bastard, and I don't think it's going to happen at this point. I realize what I've been talking about for the past 4 months, but I do believe that resistance has grown to a point within the establishment, the government establishments, where people are starting to see this bastard has to be stopped, and he will be stopped. It's just like watching somebody slowly dissolve into a puddle of water. You know, remember the Wicked Witch of the North? Was it the North? The Wicked Witch of the West? I don't know. Anyway, in not not Alice in Wonderland, but the other one, Wicked, right? Remember how when water was splashed on the Wicked Witch, she dissolved, right? Wizard of Oz movie thingy, right? Well, I think that's what's happening to Trump. He's getting water on him, and he's starting to dissolve. So anyway, before this asshole took office, no president in history of this country had tried to invoke the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. Yeah, there's another thing you and I never knew existed, I doubt. And that was a law passed in 1977 designed to impose tariffs on other nations. And that law, which primarily concerns trade embargoes and trade sanctions, does not even mention tariffs. But the toilet rat and these evil little fuckers who are around him, these little trolls, and I don't care if they're Jew or Christian or Muslim or whatever they are, these Christian fanatics, these snake-handling bitches that keep whispering into his ear, do this, do that, do this. And because Trump is such an ignorant savage, he just goes ahead and does it. So anyway, the law that he tried to invoke, International Emergency Economic Powers Act, didn't even mention tariffs. So Trump, sit down and shut the fuck up. You know, you've got 3.5 years left, and then you're going to be kicked into the dustbin of history, dude. Anyway, but in order to circumvent whatever was being whispered into his ear that he needed to circumvent, the toilet rat came up with an interpretation of the power invested in that Economic Powers Act. And he interpreted it as he saw fit when he announced and then suspended, because he's a dumb shit, these levies on scores of countries back in April. He also used the law to impose tariffs on our two major trading partners right here that we share a border with, Canada and Mexico, in return for what he said was their role in sending fentanyl to the United States. Oh, you stupid son of a bitch, you. Why don't you work, Trump, as if he was hearing this, why don't you work on the causes of addiction in our fucked up United States of America right now? Why don't you work that instead of using some shitty little excuse like, well, I'm going to stop fentanyl coming in the United States. Right. Just like he talks about, well, I'm going to stop anti-Semitism in our elite university. That from an anti-Semite himself. It's incredible. So anyway, as the Times reported, quote, on Wednesday, the Court of International Trade, the primary federal legal body overseeing such matters, found that Mr. Trump's tariffs, quote, exceed any authority granted, end quote, to the president by the Emergency Powers Act. Ruling in separate cases brought by states and businesses, a bipartisan panel of 3 judges essentially declared many, but not quite all, of Mr. Trump's tariffs to have been issued illegally. Now, there's something you should know about the political makeup of that court, 3-judge panel that told Trump to calm the fuck down, take a deep breath, and go away. One of the judges who made this ruling was appointed by Reagan. One of the judges who made this ruling was appointed by Bush. One of the judges who made this ruling was appointed by Obama. Now, I don't think you can get much more evident that this court decided on the merits of the law and not on party affiliation. Now, it's not clear, according to the Times, the ruling does not make precise when and how the tariff collections would grind to a halt. And the ruling gave the toilet rat up to 10 days. We're giving you 10 days and get the fuck out of Dodge, right? Something like that. 10 days to complete this bureaucratic bullshit process of ending what the toilet rat tried to do. And, of course, true to form, the toilet rat's administration immediately filed its plans to appeal to the U.S. Court of Appeals for the federal surrogate. Oh, yes, we're going to appeal, we're going to delay, we're going to deny, we're going to... But for now, this decision by the U.S. Court of International Trade does absolutely undercut the toilet rat's efforts to reach trade agreements globally with everybody on Earth, including islands that have nothing but penguins and seals on it, ever since the toilet rat began using the prospect of boundless tariffs enacted on his own without congressional approval because I am Donald Jesus Christ Trump. Ask any of my red hat wearing assholes who bob up and down and salivate every time I walk across the stage. Ask them. But anyway, he was trying to use his ridiculous illegal actions as a bargaining chip in negotiations with roughly 18 countries. And those deals are still under negotiation, by the way. And some of the toilet rat's top aides have told the court in recent days that an adverse ruling, the one that was issued last night, could imperil these talks. Well, hold on, back up 1 second. This 90 agreements in 90 days. Remember that bullshit? Remember what Trump was going to, day one, well, 90 days. He has accomplished not one single documented, agreed to tariff. The deal that he claimed, we have one with the UK or with England or whatever, is bullshit. They had a framework that they put together. The trading reps from the UK and from the United States, the bums that represent the Trump administration, they put together a framework of what they might be able to work through and come up with an agreement. But when Trump got out there and started touting this agreement, this tariff agreement with the UK, he was doing what he usually does. The rotten bastard just standing there lying through his ass. There's no agreement. There's no anything yet. It's all been based on Trump's bloviating and his hard-ass attitude. Well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Anyway, as to be expected, also, one of these spokesfuckers for the toilet rat in the White House issued a statement sharply rebuking, I love that word, rebuking the court. That's so goddamn Christian, isn't it? I rebuke you, Satan. Oh. Anyway, this guy's name is Kush Desai. Oh, my goodness. He's not white. Oh, my goodness. He's not of European ancestry. Oh, my goodness. He must be Asian Indian. Kush Desai, huh? Anyway, this robot issued a rebuke, saying in a statement that unfair trade relationships had, quote, decimated American communities, left our workers behind, and weakened our defense industrial base, facts that the court did not dispute. Asshole, yo, Dash, Cash, Kush, whatever your name is, look up, listen up. The court was not asked to make a decision based on that. The court was making a decision based on, this will be a shock to you, Kush, based on the law. Your boy, your rat-ass sewer rat leader, Donald Trump, ignored the courts. I'll tell you what, Kush, if you want to do this shit, tell your boy to do it legally. I mean, I know that's a shock. I know that's going to set you back on your heels a little bit. But tell the monster you work for that maybe it would be better if he tried to do the shit that he tried to do by doing it legally. No, of course not. Anyway, Kush added this, quote, it is not for unelected judges to decide how to properly address a national emergency. Mr. Trump will use every lever of executive power to address this crisis. Oh, fuck you, Kush. It's a crisis because you and the toilet rat you work for and all the little slimy trolls that cluster around him, you have created this imaginary crisis. Here's the truth. There is no crisis, Kush. There is no Kush. Okay. There is no crisis. Every lever of executive power to address this crisis. Well, have at it, diphthong. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. You know, the Progressive Voices Network brings you commercial-free commentary from today's leading progressive radio hosts and pundits, like me, Mike Malloy, 24 hours a day. I'm not your typical old guy from the 80s or the 90s talk radio host, and Progressive Voices is not your typical talk radio network. It's a listener-supported nonprofit with no corporate control whatsoever over our broadcast. So hosts like me, Mike Malloy, are free to rant and scream and carry on about whatever we like. We're often controversial, but we're never boring. Weeknights, 9 p.m. in the East, 6 p.m. in the West on the Progressive Voices Network. Always progressive, always on. I'm Mike Malloy. Keep it lit.